Ring, 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 ring,
ring, ring, ring, ring, ring, ring, ring, ring, ring. Hello.
Hi. Is this Mr. Jeff Rogers here?
This is Jeff Rogers, or I'm Jeff Rogers.
I think it's you because I'm calling. If that is who you are.
Yeah, who's asking?
Oh, well, hey, it's nice to hear from you. We have it in our recent sort of notes right here. You just purchased a lot of appliances from us here over at Maytag. Just wanted to just kind of follow up, make sure that everything was going okay. If you may, you recently bought a dishwasher from us, and it's everything's going fine. It's smooth.
I plugged it into the sink. Now the sink doesn't work. The dishwasher doesn't work. I don't really know appliances.
Okay. We'll send somebody right out there. Now you bought a washing machine, also a washing drying combo. That's everything still works. It's still running smoothly.
Yeah, I married her too. I call her Susan. Ching. Come on, laugh with me,
sir. These calls are recorded for quality purposes. It's not working. Okay, we'll send a technician out there.
It's working fine.
Oh, it's working fine. That's perfect. That's what I like to hear. And finally, our records show that you recently purchased a refrigerator from us, sir. Is your refrigerator running?
I believe so. Yes.
Okay, that's great. So we're gonna send a repairman over to send over that fix that dishwasher, and everything will be great.
Is that all?
No. You have to hang up. You have to hang up. You have to hang up, sir. I'm trying to make a call on the other line.
Continuing tonight on Two Seas in a Pod. 96.7 on your J-I-J-I-K.
Two C's in a pod, 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 two C's just like two C's in a pod, two C's because we're two C's in a pod, just like two C's in a pod, two C's in a pod at gmail.com.
Welcome to the international presidential debate for this year. It is the two hosts trying to decide who is the main host and who is the co-host. This year we have running Cameron and Cameron. This could get very confusing considering we're both the moderator as well as both the candidates. Thank you very much for attending. I'll let you introduce yourself as I am the moderator.
Hello, my name is Cameron Osborne. I am, of course, I believe I am one of the hosts of Two Seas in a Pod.
Hey, that's all you'll ever be, one of the co-hosts.
Hey, okay. The voice of who you just heard, of course. The other host of the podcast, as you were, his name is Cam LeClaire. It is Cam Osborne. You did switch it, and I think then you switched it right back because things got a little too confusing because Cameron.Osborne@twoceesinapod.com was already taken, so we would have had the email situation would have been insane.
Yeah. You ever get, here's a good sales trick for all you salespeople out there that are listening. I kind of picked up on it because our work email is really shitty. It's super long, which if you're in a business, make it like 3 letters. You can find a way to make it shorter. Even if it has to be like at abc420.com. It's like, you'd be like, I know it sounds silly, but it's easy to say over the phone. Because no one wants, like, it's DePage, and it's medical industries San Francisco.edu.ca.org.
See, and that's a good point. You don't want words in your email address that people would wonder how are they spelling that word.
Oh yeah.
Right? Which, of course,
brutal.
then, of course, twoceesinapod@gmail.com, you know how it's spelled because it's the way the podcast is written out. You see it, you email it, it's so easy, and inbox is overflowing these days.
It is, and I want to send out a special request to our listeners at home. For those who are not the best typers, send in some voice clips to us. If you want to hear yourself live on one of the largest radio stations out there, send us a voice clip. We'll give you feedback on if you have the next voice for the radio, or if you just want some advice from two of the best looking men in all southern Ontario.
Of course, because here on the podcast we get offered funds to aid to our charitable donations, and we follow through with those. We give you a shout out here on the podcast. We read your email aloud, and hearing a voice note would be no different. Of course, last week we heard from Dr. Lehman with a generous donation of $22 million. Of course, those funds have already been transferred over to our bottomless piggy bank. Of course, it's a big ceramic porcelain pig that has his little jeans pulled down to his ankles, revealing his grotesque bottom, making him truly bottomless. And like I say, we're approaching the 100 million mark.
Can't wait till we hit that, and then we're gonna give out a T-shirt to one of our subscribers.
Of course, the merch, the very first T-shirt coming out over here at Two Season Pod.
So, Cam, I think we got to jump this off with some of the bad news.
Bad news.
The injury report.
Cam's injury
It's
report.
The injury report, folks.
You know what? Recently we had heard Cam playing a game of baseball, or maybe it was softball, whichever ones are the balls that are big and like too large for any person to throw. Like, just make them a little bit smaller. That's like, I'm not crazy for thinking this either. You were recently playing that, and I think you did something to your shoulder. And I would hate to think that this injury has repeated itself.
So, I don't know, that might have been last week, but ever since last week, I had the softball game, agitated the back a little bit, didn't think it was that bad, went and trained Muay Thai a night later, probably agitated it more, and then went up to the cottage to take out the dock. And for all you cotters, you know that taking out a dock requires lifting a very heavy weight from the bottom of a lake. And Cam, as you know from the corporate retreat, our lake is not shallow. So
It in itself may be bottomless.
It may be bottom. We've never seen the bottom. We just know a weight hits at some point.
Of course, and if you're looking for a good place to hide your bottomless piggy bank, no better option than the bottom of your lake.
That's right. So if you're looking to hide a piggy bank or something else of equal value, or something that you don't want people to find, or any person to find, good spot for it. Now, lifting these out of the ground or out of the water, you have to use your legs, but you're also going to use your back, leading to a QL strain. Back to the QL strain, repeated injury, which labored me. And what is today, Wednesday?
Today is Wednesday.
Today is when the day you're listening to it is. See what I did there?
Wait, let me see. So give me a sec, Cameron. So I just gotta go over here on the. Okay, so today is Wednesday.
When is today? It's like when.
Okay, and then Cam, you said when is today?
Okay,
when is today? You know what? I'm not gonna get it. I'm not gonna get it. Let's just.
We'll move ahead.
We'll keep going. We'll keep going. If I figure it out,
plowing ahead here.
If I figure it out, I'll bring it up.
So, for the past 2 days, I have been hunched over, unable to stand up straight, unable to lie down flat. And if I can lie down flat, it'll finally relax, but my glutes will keep firing to prop my hips up. Leading me to go to a chiropractor, telling me my QL is strained, and then now finding out that I thought my knee had problems as well from that, because I thought it was the IT band pulling on it. From my hips being tight, from my back being tight, all that kind of stuff. And apparently
all that normal stuff.
Completely unrelated. So now I have QL strain, hoping it's not a meniscus tear, but it feels like it. And I have a 160-kilometer bike ride to do in 2-3 days. So stay tuned, folks, to see if this is the last episode ever.
This could be the last episode of Two Season a Pod. Of course, definitively, I would have to take over as both host and co-host duties, doing my own Baba Booies. It's almost like setting yourself up for a joke. Cam, one thing that I think the physical difference between you and I is so that a man of my size, there's just less to hurt. I mean,
Maybe that's what it
if
is.
you were to think, the muscles and tendons and ligaments belonging to you that we're talking about are so large that, of course, there's so much of it that could hurt itself. Right? I'm
right.
not going to tear a tricep because it's like a little bit of that. But
It's
on
like
you,
who has ever bumped a smart car in a parking lot versus an
never.
Escalade?
Smart cars are never getting the odds are like would be a quarter of other cars, right? That would
Perfect
just
example, yeah.
That would just be too much, Cam. I think,
too
as
much,
an
Cam.
almost coming up on your 26th birthday, Cam, I think physically you might be done.
I think that I've hit my prime. I had but good. Oh boy, words are coming out tough.
I would
Oh.
say when you were in your big lift days.
That's when I was at my peak. Yeah,
the ripe
That's
age,
when I was
probably like
fucking
21-ish, maybe. Probably like right when you turned 21, you had and I gotta say that might be the same for me.
Yeah, I would love the part now that's sad is I want to get huge like that again, but gyms suck right now because you have to make appointments, you have to wear masks, so that sucks. And then on top of that, everything's hurting, right?
You mean physically
top of
on
that-
you?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, you need to take like a year off from just.
Well, that's the thing. That's the thing that
stuff.
always happens. I'm like, okay, I gotta not do anything for the next few days, and that's what I tell myself, right? But immediately in the back of my head, I'm like, maybe I could just go light today and do like a 30K bike ride, just like stay loose. And I'm like slapping myself on the wrist, like, no, you can't do that. So yeah, like I'm gonna be out for the whole week. I can't do anything, which sucks. I'm just gonna get more fat.
And that's exactly it. First, Cam, it's not. I don't think that's how body science works. And second of all, I think you need like 2 months. No cycling, no Muay Thai, just ice baths and rolling.
I can't do that. I'll lose. Oh, I'm taking myself out before we do that.
But I mean, when we see what the alternative is, it's you hurting everything in your
Just
body.
consistent pain. That's fine. That's athletics.
That's just
Being
sport.
an athlete is not about performing. It's about being hurt.
That's a
Look
good
at Steven
point.
Stamkos,
I guess
one
if
of the best hockey players out there. How many games did he play in the NHL final?
Who is this?
Steven Stamkos.
Oh yeah, he only played like 2 or 3
3 shifts. The whole series. Stanley Cup winner.
It's because. Oh yeah. Well, no, I think that's because
Stanley Cup champion. I
It has
don't have to
something to
say
do with-
anything else. Nope, that's it.
It has something to do with games that you play during the season. It's something to do like that. I don't know. But yes, I do agree, Cam. I certainly wish all the well because we can't have you falling apart on us.
No, it sucks. It sucks not being able to like stand up straight or walk well, or play with a puppy, stuff like that. You can't you don't have that same pop.
Exactly.
But-
So how are you going to do this as an old man playing with your grandkids or something?
I don't know. I think I'll just be in a wheelchair and I'll just say, "Push me around."
Right? Oh, and then your grandkids are going to have one of those sad wheelchair grandpas.
Yeah, but I'll be like, "Let's go to the skate park. Let's do it. We'll do it live."
Well, because
Strap
by
me
then
in.
we'll be hovering, I'm sure. So.
Yeah, exactly. Mm-hmm. He'll be like, "I'm gonna try a kickflip." And he'll like, throw me on that rail. I'll grind that thing, a 50-50, and then hop off and do a nollie onto that one.
Yeah.
Be a sick grandpa.
It's going to be pretty impressive.
Skater grandpa. At the cottage, I have also a great boat story. Boat stories with Cam.
There's one thing this podcast is known for. It's nautical tales of nautical events. If you were, you may go port, I may go starboard, but at the end of the day, we're here to talk
We're both
about
stern.
boats. We're both boaters.
It's both stern. Port.
I of course have a boating
on.
license, which
have a
was
boating
like
license.
absolutely free, and I'm pretty sure I just cheated from home.
Certainly. That's how you get them.
That's how you get them, Cam. I hope your story doesn't involve your credentials of your boating license, but love to hear what
No.
comes up next.
Because I wasn't the one boating. This is a story from our story from another person who witnessed it. So
You are
on-
recalling a story which was
that
told
I
to
heard
you.
about. Yes, and it's
Ooh,
a good one.
interesting.
That's how you know it's a good one. Now, how true is it? Because it's been told through one.
Well, that's exactly it. It could,
a few people.
There
Yeah,
could be a
So,
broken telephone element.
There could be a
to
broken
it.
telephone. But I mean, the facts are the facts, and that's what we need to remember. So, as you may know, Cam, as you came to the cottage retreat, the cottages on the lake, they're not giant. They're not like the Muskoka ones that are just like $1 million mansions. They're quite modest, but there's a few boats on this lake that are just like the $200,000 range, right? I think there's 2 of them.
Yeah, expensive boats.
Expensive boats. When you think who drives an expensive boat, Cam?
Who's driving expensive boats? I think of wealthy Italians or trying to cling on to my youth, recently divorced men.
Typically, yes. This time, it was someone who is trying
Is
to
never mind. Go on.
This one is a story about not the Italian man, not the one holding on to his youth. It's the one that's trying to make sure that mom doesn't get more love than dad does, giving this 22-year-old a $200,000 boat to go around at his will. Is it his? Who knows? Is he the one who drives it? Certainly. Does he go around with 20 people on this boat? Certainly. Does he make mistakes on this boat? Likely. Is this guy a coke addict? We found out the answer to that is yes.
Yeses all across the board, apparently.
Yeses all across the board.
I mean, first take sounds like a shitty guy, but I'm stuck on, if your dad bought you a $200,000 boat, would you love him
he
more
didn't
than you
buy
love
it
your mom?
for him.
Oh.
He kind of bought it as like, it's like, hey, I bought this boat. Feel free to use it whenever you want. I'm not really going to use it.
Right.
one of
Whenever you
those.
come up to my cottage, you can use that boat.
But you have to remember that he actually built a cottage for his son beside that cottage.
This just sounds like a cool dad. Who's this dad? Is he taking applications?
Yeah. So this cat, a little bit of a blow problem, and I think he must have a lot of fake friends, just like that Earl Sweatshirt song, "Super Rich Kid with Nothing But Fake Friends." Shouts out to the podcast. Shouts out to Earl Sweatshirt.
What are you shouting out? A lyric to a song?
Yeah, you remember the song off Frank Ocean? It was his album.
I mean, I can say no before you tell me the answer. What were you going to say?
Okay, so it doesn't matter that part. The one time we saw him, like you see him all the time loaded with people on the boat. The one time Shannon and I saw him, he was beside this. I was on a boat, and then he came up with his
just
boat
like
with
the Lonely Island. You were on a boat,
just like the Lonely Island. It was like that. They were playing Hollaback Girl. There was girls twerking on the boat.
Gwen Stefani was there.
Yes, Gwen
with
Stefani,
the Harajuku girls. Those odd,
and he was doing blow off the Harajuku girls.
Which I'll
this
be
is where I
honest,
think there might be broken telephone.
Which I'll be honest, it felt very, 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 very much like cultural appropriation happening in 2020. But for whatever reason, back then it felt fine.
Yeah, it was last year.
It was. This was a weird boat ride.
Weird boat ride. So I see this. I'm like, well, I know who that character is. I don't need to be any part of that. Anyway, back to what I heard.
That's a good call,
happened.
Cam. That's a good call. Of course, me as the
I think this is all painting the picture of who we're dealing with.
Of course, and Cam, me as the one the story's being told to, it's my job naturally to kind of like a Mystery Science Theater thing, where you just kind of comment over top of the story.
Certainly.
Yeah,
everyone does.
This is how boat stories usually go.
Lovely. So as one does, you take the boat out with all the hose on it, and another guy
Gwen
who also lives in the
Stefani,
lake,
the Harajuku girls,
the guy who lives in the lake, who thought he was a friend of Cokehead Steve. I think his name's. We'll keep his name private. Fuck it.
We'll bleep it out.
We'll bleep it out. His name is Bleep. He is just driving down the lake with this guy in the boat. I can't remember what the other guy's name. We'll call him like Jim. Jim's in the front of the boat. He's probably like 25-ish in his mid-20s. And Bleep is flying down and then sees another boat coming. So instead of like turning off, he just lets go of the throttle. And if anyone's ever been on a boat, they don't slowly stop boats. They just stop. Right? They don't just glide in. And that causes, because the bow rider, which means like, think about the bow of a boat, the front of it, it'll just drop really quickly. Mm-hmm. So the one guy who's in the front of the boat now flips out of the boat into the water.
Jesus.
Everyone's la la, ha ha, rah rah, we're all having a great time. Let me do another line of blow. Let me just shotgun this ice. Oh, I just got iced again by myself. Oh, I'm crazy. He turns his boat around and is such an idiot, he cuts the dude's leg. With the propeller.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah. The kid still has a leg. He's still good, but he said he's never going to ride in that boat again. And that's why you don't go on boats with cokeheads, people.
Jesus Christ, that's wild. So, like, who was the kid who got his leg cut? Was just some random guy? Some friend?
Just a guy in the lake. Just a guy in the lake that I knew. He's just a person, like, just a mid-20s guy.
How bad?
He thought he was a friend of his. But
how
like,
bad's the injury?
I mean, a boat propeller is going to cut you up pretty good.
Well, of course.
I think he'll be okay from what I understand. But fuck, how much more until you cut? Like, what are you doing?
Jesus Christ!
How do you make mistakes like that? Especially because this kind of boat, it's not one where the prop's right at the back. It's basically under the boat.
Yeah.
So, yeah. Fair warning to all those out there. Don't go on boats with super rich kids.
That Cam, I think that raised a good point. You know, I think we should just abolish the wealthy, as it were. It seems like all the problems, all of the assholes out there in public are the ones making too much money. I think we should just shun them. Don't be rude. Don't be mean. Don't hurl insults. Just ignore.
Just like that episode of Black Mirror where they get blocked in real life.
Was that an episode of Black Mirror? Damn, I thought I wrote that. I have been working on the new.
It's like when you get socially blocked.
Oh, right, where it's like your face becomes it's like a swirl. Isn't that what happens or something like that?
And you're like, I don't know who that is. All right, and they're like, come talk to me. It's crazy.
Yeah.
And you're like, I don't know what you're saying.
How did that episode end? Was it something dumb?
Well, there was two, right? There was the one where it was the White Christmas, and then he ends up getting blocked by everybody, I think.
Oh, okay.
And then there's another one where I think that one, I don't remember the other one. It probably similar, you know.
Yeah,
probably something where it's like, the loved one.
Because technology isn't our friend, you know.
Block that.
We're going down the wrong path if this is the path we're going to continue to take.
Right. We should be Wait, didn't we just say we should be blocking more people?
Wait. Yeah.
Uh-oh.
Well,
Oof.
yeah. Just the 1%ers though. Just shun.
Okay.
Not rude.
We'll start there.
Shun. It's a big difference.
Okay, I like it. I like where we're going with this. And this is your political segment of the podcast where we discuss ideas for the nation.
Wait, did it just happen, or are you saying that's what's coming up?
That was the session. Yeah.
Oh, that was the session. Yeah. Stay tuned next week.
Do you want me to do a little song for it right now?
Let's hear it.
Okay. And that was the Politics Hour with Cameron Osborne and Cam LeClaire, keeping our nation free and safe.
That was great. Fucking get copy on that, because of course the follow-up show, the companion, the fight companion, as it were. Cam and I are doing a political hour. Where sort of every day we just sort of recap in 60 minutes, no more, no less, exactly what's happening in the world of politics.
Right, and we say world of politics, we're mostly talking about what they're wearing. So it's kind of a fashion show / politics.
Yeah, it's more
gossip.
Yeah, a lot of fashion and gossip. We'll also
like e-talk.
Yeah, it's
just
kind of
about
like
politicians.
it's kind of like an e-talk thing, except there's a lot of politics involved. We'll also talk to old celebrities about shows and movies they used to be on. We'll also
But like C-list ones, but
Yes.
kind of like what do you call that sound again that they play? And we learned this a few times on the podcast. This is trivia for you real fans. It's they add in the. I'm not getting it.
I don't even know what you're talking about.
Okay, when there's people in the background of a show and they're like blah 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 blah. Oh, we are.
Oh, you're
talking.
you're talking Walla.
Walla. Is that Walla?
Yeah, that's what it's called.
Yeah. That's if you got that right, folks. Ding ding ding. That's trivia podcast trivia.
Yeah, it's mostly just us interviewing extras, getting their take on the film world.
Getting their take on hot topics.
That's exactly
Like,
right.
what do you
Cam.
think of the latest hot topic at the Orangeville Mall?
Yeah, exactly. That's the hottest topic of all. If I'm
The
being
hottest
honest,
topic of all is the hot topic at the Orangeville Mall.
honestly,
That's a headline right there,
everybody's
baby.
talking. Everybody's talking about this hot topic. It has the most of those little figurines that people put on their desks and shit. Whatever those
Some
are
say
called.
it has the most bracelets with the most spikes. The bracelet with the most green spikes on it.
It does. The most spiked belt actually is at this Orangeville hot topic. It's crazy. It really is.
I believe you have a game for us, Cameron.
Oh Jesus,
Speaking
do
of
I?
games.
Speaking of games. Games.
Speaking of games.
Okay, Cam, I have a game here for you. This is a fun little two-person game that you and I are going to be playing back and forth, okay? And this game
Back
is
and
called Actor's Worst Nightmare. So here's how it's going to play out. Cam, I'm looking right now at a quick little script, a quick little play between two people where I will be playing one character and you will be playing the other character. The only thing is, Cam, you don't know what you're supposed to say. I will be reading
This
the
is
role.
like, I don't know the lyrics. Okay.
It's kind of like that. So I will be reading my part. I'll be playing the role of Elmer, and Cam, you'll be playing the role of Slade. And when you're finished talking, I'm gonna come in with my next line, and we're gonna see the type of.
Oh, so I'm gonna see if I can get the real line. Now, is
Well,
this from a famous thing?
You're never gonna get the real line. And Cam, even if it was, how many plays could you kind of?
I think that'd be the
riff-
fun part. You could literally do this for the most famous movies and some of the most famous lines, and see where I could take this. Because I'm not gonna get it right.
Because I think no matter what I were to say, it's not an issue. It's not a deal about getting it right. Don't think about it like that. It's an issue of having fun. So we're going to play this on a script written by a man named Joseph R. Nunn.
All right, I'm
It
ready.
seems
This
is
sounds
his
great.
name. This little piece is called Once in a Blue Moon, starring myself and Cam, while we are sitting at the negotiation table in a high-stakes game of life or death.
Can I ask a few details about the plot
I've
or about the storyline?
I've never read this before, Cam. You can take a
podcast.
You can take a second if you need to take a second.
No, Shannon's just looking at me. She's like, "What are you doing?" Okay, all right. So I don't need to know anything about the plot line. Can I ask about? Do you have details on like the scene itself? Like, are we smoking cigars at a negotiation table with a dark, dimly room? Like, am I Italian?
there is one line of narration before we
Okay,
before we
cool.
move on. Okay, Cam, ready for it?
Ready?
It's called Once in a Blue Moon. We're at a seedy, dimly lit bar, and it's 4 a.m.
Ooh, what city are we in?
Little Rock,
Chicago?
Arkansas.
Ah, okay.
It could be seedy. I'm sure there's a seedy element to Little Rock, Arkansas, even though it sounds like a little fun
There's
place.
a lot of seedy elements to it.
Okay, here we
All
go,
right.
Cam. I told you, I take this stuff very seriously. Do you think I was fooling?
With that kind of eyes, I can't trust a man who doesn't wear 3 buttons up.
Now, I think that we need to rectify this situation, don't you?
Rectify? I think I need to rectify your ass.
You guessed right. You know, it really confuses me because I should have enough of a reputation established by now out there in the free world. So many years gone by putting my time in. People like you ought to know me.
You think I ought to know you? I know a lot of people out there, and you hardly crack my top 5,000.
Do you?
I don't know. You were questioning me?
I find that relatively hard to believe based on what you did.
Oh, you're going to bring that up from 15 years ago?
Is it your wife?
Don't call her that.
Well, what's wrong with him?
Him?
Well, that makes sense. You have a sick child, and you did what you needed to do as a good father to provide for your boy. The certain care his condition calls for, correct?
It was a difficult decision to make, but we knew it was best for him.
Life is so full of surprises, isn't it? How old is your son?
52.
Is he your only child?
You should know better. I thought you knew who I was.
What's his name?
Do you know who you're talking to?
Oh, Charlie, yeah. That's my brother's name.
I didn't know you had a brother. Also, do you know who you're talking to? I don't have a son named Charlie. This is a scam. This is a setup, my man.
Let me ask you, do you love your wife?
Who are you talking about?
And you are all closely bundled with love?
Sir, I think you need to realize you are being recorded.
Why did you think that in your attempt to save Charlie, you wouldn't get caught based on my reputation?
You knew about that?
And how is...
I'm turning the tables here, baby. You're the one under investigation.
And how is Charlie now?
Charlie's the enemy, and you're one of them.
In control. That's good.
Don't tell me what's good, because I am the law. I am the hard ruling fist of the law. And you heard it here first, mister.
And when did you, or I should say, how did you get your son's condition in such control?
Okay, you caught me. I'm no cop.
You see, there are still good people in this world. Saints! I'm happy to hear your son is doing fine. When exactly did you get your son's condition in control?
Yeah, thanks for asking. It was about yesterday. Yesterday about this time.
Was it before or after you pulled the robbery?
Who's under investigation? How do you know? Who squealed?
Incredible. You know, the doctor you speak of, does he have a name?
I don't give out names. I ain't no snitch.
And what did he say to you?
He said that snitches get stitches.
He's a great doctor, an excellent doctor. He's a dear friend of mine.
A deer friend? You're going to be looking like a deer in the headlights if you keep up with this banter.
Well, so dear, in fact, that we even go out for dinner on occasion.
Dinner? You're going to be eating those lies if you keep up with this nonsense.
Isn't it? I have a breathing condition, too.
Well,
And scene. We're gonna let's call it right there. Let's call it right there, Cam. We had a little bit more to go, but you were way off the rails.
Oh boy, that was tough. It's tough playing a character, especially when you're trying to become an insider.
Yeah, that's exactly it, Cam. You know, you took the stage direction, or you took these lines into a I guess you thought you were an undercover cop for a little bit there, and then
I thought I was the police officer. I thought you were the bad guy.
And then you gave up on. No, I think we were both.
we were both. And
yeah, I don't think there really was a good or bad guy. I think I was.
The only
worse.
line that made sense there was, "What did the doctor tell you? Snitches get stitched." And you're like, "Well, he is a good doctor." I think that was a good line. They can't write that in Hollywood.
Well, yeah, right off the bat, you took that was fun. We'll play that again. Right off the bat, you took it away from all the clues I was giving you. I was trying to tell you had a son. I was trying to tell you had a wife, and then you're like, "I don't have a son." And then I'm like, "Well, I'm gonna keep talking about your son, who's definitely not 52." It's a fun game. It's a fun game. You can play it with your friends. Game. Just you gotta go with what I'm saying, because I'm the only one who knows what's going on. Yeah.
That's right. I can't change the script. This is an improv class.
It's literally a script I'm reading. But that was a lot of fun, Cam. That game's called Actor's Worst Nightmare. We'll play it again some other day.
What'd you call it? Reverse Nightmare?
I called it. Not everything is reverse. No, I call it Actor's Worst Nightmare.
Actors. Oh,
because what would be?
Did you come up with that game yourself?
Pardon?
Did you come up with it yourself?
No, I've heard that played before, but with more people.
Oh, I see. So like,
but exact same game. Just like two people don't know their lines. It's just a game I've heard of before that I thought we could try out.
I love it.
Well,
thank you for the thank you for the opportunity. I expect a call if you think that I'm a good fit for the position.
Of course. Well, the people here are a good fit. I deal with a lot of models. We cast things like rap videos. Do a lot of modeling. Is modeling something you've ever done before?
Modeling?
Yeah.
Yeah, I can do a little bit for sure.
Yeah, you've modeled before.
Particularly to see.
Are the squeeze your tits together? I mean, yeah, we our clients have gone on to do great things.
What kind of money can we speak about in a day?
$5,000 a day.
How do I get that?
You know what you gotta do.
I gotta look like Marilyn Monroe in one of those fancy girl movies.
Yeah, of course. Shave your legs though first, Cam. If you're gonna go for one of these modeling auditions to be a Marilyn Monroe-esque dress over the subway grate, you gotta shave first, Cam.
That's classic. What a classic
photo
icon. This is the word I'm looking for.
What a classic icon.
Yeah, maybe that's not the word I'm looking for.
That's definitely not the
vocabulary.
word you're looking for.
Vocabulary's tough, as you saw with my acting role.
And we did, Cam.
Okay,
let's keep plowing through here.
Let's keep plowing ahead here. We got breaking news coming to the desk here. We'll save that for next week.
Breaking news. This is incredible. Of course, the people over at Mirren Webster have been helping us out a lot with getting the show rolling. They just wrote in big Sharpie breaking news on the whiteboard. We just got a brand new whiteboard. Cam, no, you can't see it because it's right behind you. So we still need a new whiteboard. And listeners at home, of course, the big news with the Two Seasons Pod Network. If you are just tuning in to the show right now, you're gonna want to rewind probably like. We've been doing the show about. We're coming up on the 40.
I don't know why you tune into the middle of it.
Maybe the Apple Music player skips around or something. But folks, if you're just tuning in right now, the show, we're coming up at about 40 minutes of the show right now. You're gonna want to go past. Before the show, before our hour even started, because we had our very first podcast replacing Delia's Hour over here on the Two Season Pod Network, Louis Isgali.
Louis Gangelli?
Yes. He came in, he did his full hour. We still haven't met face to face. We've only communicated over email. Of course, he told me that he is a five-time Emmy Award winner for writing, directing, and acting a comedy series that he started on FX that was titled after him called Lewis. Still haven't gotten an opportunity to watch it, to meet him, but I heard the reviews over the first podcast that he put out, and I gotta say, they're horrid.
Horrid.
For some reason, people do not support this particular performer. I don't know why.
I tried to set up a meeting with him, but he just told me to come to his room.
He told you to come straight to the.
I'll take the meeting. Yeah, I'll come to his wherever it is.
Oh, are you also staying at the Two Seasons Pod Hotel?
Yes.
Oh my God, I love it there. Just sit by the pool, eat French fries dipped in hollandaise sauce, drink margaritas.
So Merriam-Webster did write something. What's that? Oh, yeah, I see. Okay, so they're announcing that they're putting new vocabulary. This is actually unprecedented here. Typically, they do it once a year. They're saying they're doing it this year now instead of typically in the November time to add new terms related to the pandemic that they realize they need to put in there.
What?
Leading
this
us
is
to
huge.
our next
This is
game.
huge breaking news.
Next game, which is the top 5 pandemic phrases.
Here's the top 5. Here are 5 tips about things. 5 ways to. No, it's just a top 5.
So these are things that you probably have heard. You probably are tired of them. But there's the 5 that I listed off as these are the ones that that you just didn't hear 8 months ago.
Cam, why not the top 5 that we all don't hear anymore? Like, hey, that was fun. And boy, today's a great day. You know, why don't you say the things we haven't heard in a long time?
Yeah, what's another good one? Hey, do you want to go to Laser Quest?
Yeah. Hey, do you want to go to Roxanne's and then walk down to Laser Quest because they're like right beside each other, or we can do it, or we can do it in the other order. I've done that.
Yeah, and we just need to get some cash out though.
We'll find it.
So number 5 on the list. This one bothers me because I think this is a lot of Cam. You don't know because this is a lot of offices. Maybe you've had this with your work, listeners at home. Virtual happy hours.
And Cam, that's the sound of you vomiting, not the sound of you filleting a man after a little too many beverages during a happy hour.
Well, that's what I typically do on the happy hour. I get way too drunk beforehand and then vomit on them.
Vomit on the men that you're filleting? Wow. Okay, we can all picture that one. Virtual happy hour, Cam. So how does that go?
Oh, it's the worst. It's the worst.
So you set up a video
HR
call.
sets it up. HR sets it up, and they're like, "Hey, everyone, join in for this, 5 o'clock virtual happy hour." And I'm like, my weekend does not need to start with a happy hour with people that I work with over Zoom. Like, that's not what I need to start it off with. And then it's just 5 people dominating the conversation, and no one can get a word in edgewise. Oh, it's the worst. And I just want real happy hours where you can be like, "Excuse me, I need to go fill up my drink," right? And then but now you're just logged onto Zoom, so you can't leave.
You legally can't leave.
Legally, yeah, you're in contract. So that's our number 5 on the list here. Number 4, you've heard this one before, folks. It's gonna change everything. Yeah, we know. You don't have to repeat it everything. Airlines, it's changed forever. It's going to change everything.
That's a fantastic tone you took there, Cam. It's like the tone of somebody who believes they're telling somebody
for the first time.
For the first time.
Yeah.
It's like some incredible news.
Yeah, it's brutal. It's brutal. Never say that to me. You are not the CBC. Number 3 on the list. Yes, he's in my bubble.
Oh,
we've heard this
okay.
one before, folks.
Okay, yeah. I haven't spoken because see, I think all the people that I talk to are still the people that I normally talk to. So you have
But
a lot
you
of
probably get asked at a restaurant, though, right?
No, well, actually, this past weekend was the first time I had eaten out, like inside of a restaurant.
I haven't done that yet.
Because on
Where'd
two
you go?
occasions, because they asked, like you have to give your name and number for contact tracing.
Yeah,
I had never had to do that before, so I was just like, oh shit.
Yeah, which is terrifying in one sense because that data, I hope they keep it in paper, because like think about local Joe Blow restaurants, like we'll just do this on an iPad 'cause I'm better at typing. Shit database. That contact information is so valuable, and like if I'm a business owner personally, I would probably sell that data because it'd be worth so much.
Wow, Cam, great to know how much integrity that you would bring to the table.
And donate the money to our charity.
Of course, twoceesinapod at charity.com.
Number 2. This one you've probably heard. You brought your mask?
Yeah, I find myself, besides saying you brought your mask, it's more of a, oh, where's your mask? More
Where's
of like,
your mask? Or something along those lines like, hey, you have a mask? Like things like that where it's just, you'd never think you'd have to say that except on Halloween. But now it's a daily occurrence. You leave the house. Do you have your mask? I forgot my mask in the car. Right?
Well, recently I've been thinking about a mask that is a Halloween mask, but with a mask covering the face within it. So, like, it's still a mask. Therefore, I'm allowed to wear it every day. And hopefully it's going to be Reagan or maybe Nixon. I can get like a big old Nixon mask that still is a mask on the inside, so it's still good to wear. And then I get to walk around no frills looking like President Nixon.
Would it be a double entendre or meta if I had Jim Carrey's The Mask wearing a mask?
Ah, yes, it would be. That's almost like a hat on a hat to have a mask. But either way, you would get a thumbs up. You would get a thumbs up from me if I saw somebody with a mask.
That's a good one.
Now, if it was a mask of Jim Carrey's face, but with a mask underneath it, now that's meta.
That's meta.
That's meta, 100%.
Holy. We've gone deep into the rabbit hole today, folks. And number 1. Oh, don't worry. It's just allergies.
Yes, you know what? I haven't heard somebody say that. I've been saying that to myself because I get fucking allergies. Definitely. I sneeze if I'm cooking around too many spices
and people
shit.
Look at you like you just said the N-word, and you're like, it's just allergies, folks. It's cool.
Well,
don't worry.
Well, Cam, the way that you happen is when most people sneeze, they kind of say like achoo, but you don't say achoo. You actually do scream the N-word when you sneeze. It's something
some things you're born with, right?
It's some things you're born with, right? It's kind of like
maybe it's me, maybe it's Maybelline.
It's kind of like nasal Tourette's. You know what? I was having this conversation with somebody a couple of people just the other day or something, where the reinvention. It was somebody who manages and one of their employees was just hungover, or the conversation was going. The employee was clearly hungover and tried to call their manager to get out for the day. You know, like, I feel bad, I have a headache. You know, I don't feel too good. Where before in the past, you felt sick for a day, you know, whether you were lying or not, you would take the day off, come into work the next day, maybe the day after that. But cough, sorry, boss, I don't feel good. Might
now
mean
you're like 14 days, yeah.
Might mean okay, see you call me again in 2 weeks. So you know,
lose my
it's
number.
It is that kind of thing, right? Or I also worry about people who, especially, everybody needs, so many people need to work, but certainly those who, it is just like it is just allergies, and they need this job or else they can't afford to live. It's an odd little paradigm we find ourselves in.
Well, I'm on an odd one here because I'm supposed to go on that bike ride, and one guy who's coming. His kid had a cold, and then he caught the cold. The kid tested negative. He tested negative. But I'm like, I'm gonna say that if you have a cold, I don't want to go with you.
That's the question that you have to ask yourself, right? Yeah, colds, flus. people testing
Cold,
negative.
flu, AIDS,
Cold flu, AIDS. I mean, sorry, if you have HIV, I'm not going to go on a bike ride with you.
I can't do it.
You
Can't
know?
risk it for George Bush.
Shit's contagious.
Shit's contagious. And that wraps out our top 5. Do you want to hear some of the other ones that popped up?
Oh, that was number 1. Yeah.
was
What
number one.
else you got? What else you got on the list?
Some of the contenders that didn't make my list were, do they have a patio? Definitely a question that comes up when you're asking, like, hey, do you want to go over? Do they have a patio? Don't want to go in the fucking infested goddamn wormhole. And the last one, I haven't heard this one before, but I think someone's probably said it. Hey, 2 meters, bro.
No, I haven't. I haven't heard
I
somebody.
don't think people are that aggro.
No, back when there was back when grocery shopping sucked. I do remember everyone being like, "Hey, back there."
Yeah, hey, take a step back there, big
But
fella.
once grocery shopping cleared up, no, my least favorite is when you're seeing the news and it's Company X files for bankruptcy. Like, that's not news anymore. I just assume every single company has filed for bankruptcy.
Just to collect that.
Or it's
cash,
when it's
baby.
when it's something that's like, after 75 years, this quaint place is closing its doors, and I'm like, yeah, probably.
Yeah, you're like, it's about time. They clearly
About
weren't making
fucking
much money.
time. You've been there for 75 years. Move on. You should be retired.
Move on. Let's get some fresh blood in there. I need something that shells some fucking dope ass kicks and some cool 5-panel hats, baby. Get the fuck out of here, you geezers with your goddamn newspaper boy hats. I don't need
Kicks
that
and
shit
hats.
in my life.
Kicks and hats, baby.
Business. And that rounds up our business hour with Cameron LeClaire and Cam Osborne, two of the brightest minds in entrepreneurial business.
That's fantastic. Really expanding ourselves. Business hour, political hour. Let's keep playing. Let's keep moving on here with the show, though. We have one more game to play.
More games.
Before that, Canada's favorite bald man, Kim Mitchell, comes rapping on our door, as it were. He comes right around this time every single week.
Just starts tuning his guitars.
He's tuning his guitar because he does that little thing where he plays other people's riffs and then pontificates on them like he's a poet describing his muse. But it's just kind of like 3 chords on a guitar. He does that bit, and we love him for it, and that's why we have him on the network.
Does he do the one that's "It hurts so good"? Ba-na-na-na-na. Oh, baby, make it hurt so good. Does he do that
No,
one, or is that
I
Rod
think "Hurt
Stewart?
So Good" is by like John Mellencamp or something. Like one of those other guys.
Yeah.
The same one who sang "She Ain't Pretty, She Just Looks That Way."
I think that's ZZ Top.
That's not ZZ.
Let us know, folks.
Let us know, folks. twoceesinapod@gmail.com. Of course, we offered a lot of. There
take
was a
voice notes as
lot
well.
of things that Cam said last week, but luckily, Cam, no fans reached out to correct you or correct me, for that matter.
Yeah, probably means I'm right. So we'll leave it at that.
Or maybe we not, or maybe we won't. twoceesinapod@gmail.com. You know how to reach us, but let's get into it because we have one more game to play here. It is the game. It happens all the time, so it's like the sun coming up. It's gonna happen the next day, except that one day it doesn't, where we're all fucked. And of course, we're talking headline or asinine.
Hey, headline, asinine. Headline or asinine.
3 headlines back and forth. Some are real, some are fake. We do not know. Cam, I'm gonna kick it off here. Ready for it?
Yes, sir.
Airline offers 7-hour flight to nowhere.
Ooh. I think, I don't know if this spoils the game. I think I might have heard about this, but you might have made this up too. So I don't know why anyone would want to do it, but maybe if you just made like super comfortable seats and like a really nice dining experience, and you're like, I don't know, because typical flying shit. But if you make it so luxurious that you're like, I can't miss out on this, and Fergie's going to be on the plane, and she's going to do Big Girls Don't Cry a few times for me, yeah, I'm all aboard. Now, I'm going to call headline, and I'm going to call Australia as the location. Final answer.
Cam, you're right. You must have heard about this story then before in the past. You know, if you've heard about it, you can just say I've heard it.
I like to dress it up a little bit, you know, just like an all dressed ship.
No, well, I was saying if you knew the headline, I could have scrambled for a second one instead of wasting all this time. But I guess the information for the folks at home who are listening, Cam, you can just take off those pretty little headphones of yours for a little bit, because that's exactly right. Because this is coming out of Qantas Airlines, coming out of Australia, who offered a 7-hour flight in one of their Boeing 787s. It performs a giant loop over top of Australia, going over Queensland and then the Gold Coast to New South Wales and the country's remote outback heartlands. Despite costs of tickets going from $566 to $2,700, this entire flight sold out in 10 minutes. That's exactly right.
They were in 3 months. Took 3 months. They did it.
This particular aircraft, yeah, it's the biggest one they got. It's got massive ass windows apparently, and it drops you off right where it picked you up. Isn't that fantastic? A 7-hour flight to nowhere.
'Cause I'm on a bridge nowhere, getting there fast. Headline last night: Springfield health food store owner arrested for breaking and entering into a McDonald's.
Now, the classic case of Springfield is that there are many real Springfields. Not just the
Certainly.
one that America's favorite family is from. Of course, but why would a health food store be breaking into a McDonald's if not to poison the food, thereby making the healthy food... You know, you poison the shit food, and then the people realize, the crap fast food is bad for me. It's making me physically ill. I need to get better. Where are you going to go? You're going to the health food store. You're going to get every green, every grain, every little fat burner you can. So that's a fantastic business move. So we're going to say it. We're going to say that this is a headline.
It's a lie. It's a made it up.
It's a damn good idea, though.
There's something to it. All right.
Okay. Here we go.
Hit me.
Jelly Belly founder giving away candy factory in a nationwide treasure hunt.
Ooh, I love this idea. Nice and socially distanced. Keep yourself in your bubble. Something you can do outside with the kids. I wonder how you could do it, though. Maybe if you said, like... If you're just really old and you're like, I will give... Maybe they're going bankrupt. They're like, we're trying anything. The old Joe Exotic trick where you just keep transferring ownership to try and keep it afloat. Yeah, maybe I hope that they're doing something where it's like the golden ticket, but they're hiding a pack of jelly beans somewhere in England. And you have to find it, and if you find it and you pass a skill testing question... Oh, fun fact for you. Do you know in Canada, the reason that you always have to do the skill testing questions when you win something is because you can't win anything strictly off luck. You have to win it based on skill. And that's why you have to do a skill testing question regardless of how easy it is. Fun fact.
Oh, really? That is interesting.
Yeah.
Then why is it so... Then why sometimes is it actually... I don't want to say actually skill testing, but then you would think there would be like, what is 1 + 1?
Because that's too easy, right?
That's too easy. Okay.
Yeah. But yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and say headline. I'd love to get the details on it. I think the things like maybe they're just losing money. They're trying to add a little perk, but I love it.
Cam, it's a headline. Boom. Okay, yeah, so this is happening this is happening nationwide. This is happening all over the United States, of course, and we're talking about David Klein. Is his man's name, the inventor of Jelly Bellies, who has left the company, Jelly Belly, but he is giving away the factory to anybody who can win his little treasure hunt. So here's how the game is played. Participants pay $50 to enter the treasure hunt, which takes place in every state.
In America.
Yes, in all 50 states. So does that include Alaska? Does that include Hawaii and Alaska? I'm not entirely sure.
Is it the lower 48?
I don't actually remember. How many cards are in a deck? Only 1,000 tickets are sold per state, and everyone who buys a ticket is eligible to win the factory. Only one player will find the golden ticket in each state. Okay, based on a riddle that they receive. Whoever finds the golden ticket will win $5,000. You know, the ownership for the factory.
Is... Go ahead.
Yeah, so everybody wins the money. Of course, the mysterious factory being the ultimate prize. And when it narrows down those 50, out of the 50 people, the next one who finds out the clue will win full ownership of the building, which is in Madison, Wisconsin, and you'll also be signed up for a free course in candy making at the University of Wisconsin-Madison. You know, so you could, in theory, create whatever candy or confectionery you want.
Damn, imagine he just takes it over. He's like, I want to become the next chocolate bar place. They're like, we strongly recommend against that. He's like, I want to do it. I own the factory. We're changing everything.
And
like,
they can't say no. They can't say no. It's your factory.
They can't say no. That's right. It's the best part about ownership, baby.
Amen.
Amen. Amen to capitalism. Headliner asinine. No gay slurs used by the MLB players on field for the first time since 2016.
No slurs. Okay, so...
No gay slurs.
Oh. Right, well...
repeat it back. No gay slurs used by MLB players on the field for the first time since 2016.
Well, yeah, so I think the big thing here is that nobody's been at a single baseball game, right? So it means that nobody could have heard if the slur happened. Of course, everything that is live will be slightly delayed, whether it even be 5 or 10 seconds, right, to catch a lot of crap like that. I also saw a similar stat that it was like April 2020 was the first month where there hadn't been a single school shooting in like 20 years.
And
it was like,
insane.
oh yeah, because there was nobody in the schools to be shot. So I
wonder
wonder
if like a July of every year.
So I wonder if this is the same kind of case. It's not that these athletes weren't hurling slurs at each other. It's that no audience member was there to hear it.
The old tree in the forest dilemma.
The old tree in the forest, right? All these trees are dropping, but we don't know if it's making sound. Right? I also wonder if this is like a Vice article by the guy who has to listen to and edit all of the mic'd up players, and it was just like their personal note, and they were like, "Yeah, I listened to 200 hours of MLB players jawing at each other, and not a single gay slur." I'm gonna say it's got to be fucking true. But you're probably being weird, so I'm gonna say it's a headline.
It's a headline, yeah. So there was one blemish, but it was by remarks by a broadcaster.
Oh yeah, you didn't hear that one?
What did he say?
Oh my God! He called.
It was a hot mic thing, right?
It was a hot mic situation. He called, whatever city, like the gay slur capital of the world, or something to that effect.
And then with an F.
It's oh baby, you know it is. And then it was the way that he says it, and then you can hear
just that hard T at the end of it.
No, just the short form. You can hear like the tension in the room after like he clearly said that, and then people are looking around like, oh my god, your mic was on, and then he kind of just follows it up with like, it's a beautiful day here at Wrigley. He just kind of follows it up, and then like by the next inning, he apologizes and gets booted.
Tough.
I don't think he has a job anymore.
Matt, no, he's no longer announcing. I'm just trying to think what he could like. Imagine he was like super clever on his feet, and he was able to like turn it super quickly. And it's like, and that's why I say that. California has the worst lag in all of internet places. Lag. The thing that slows down your internet is what I said. Lag.
I was talking about the lag capital of the world. I have bad internet in Cincinnati. It's all the lag.
It's a lot of lag.
Lag. Yeah, I'm pretty sure that wouldn't work. I'm pretty sure when you're trying to dig, you should probably try to dig up instead of keep digging down, you know?
Just keep saying things like, or just start pronouncing things with like unnecessary F's at the beginning of them. Be like, granted, the season. It's like
that's exactly it. But Cam, you're talking about mastering a speech impediment for years for the opportunity to hurl a slur. I mean, that seems like, yes, the long con. I'll give it to you, but maybe not for the right reasons, Cam.
I'm saying that he was doing it right after though, and did it terribly though, and just tried to like dig his own dig himself out of the grave.
So bad, Cam. I have one more headline here for you. British Wildlife Park removes cursing parrots from public view.
British Wildlife Park, yeah, I can see that happening because I think they probably were very close to the public who were just saying, like, look at those birds. Don't they look like a bunch of bleeps, you know? And then they just pick up and they're like, bleeps, bleeps, bleeps. And next thing you know, they're like, we can't have these things around. They are blankophobic, you know? Or something, you know, something. And next thing you know, they're in the back, and they just have their full freedom of speech back to them. That's all they ever really wanted, right? That's all birds ever want. Headline.
Cam, it's a headline here for you coming out of Lincolnshire Wildlife Park over there in the UK, who recently had to remove 5 African grey parrots, which they adopted about 6 weeks ago. So they adopted all these parrots, and then they just put them in the cage together. And as it turns out, one of them had a little bit of a potty mouth because he would say things like, he would call people things like fat fuck when you would walk past, or sometimes fat tits also. Nice. And of course, we all know parrots can mimic speech, but the funny thing is, and how this spread, kind of, you know, like a little sickness between there, is that if one parrot says it, the other parrot's going to say it. And the other parrot is going to say it. So these 5 parrots, all have to be removed because they can just teach each other bad language. And then next thing you know, all the birds in the entire wildlife area will just be calling each other.
A union, and you can't have a union with birds.
Yeah. Apparently, the birds sounded like they were coming. They were working in an old men's club, where they were just swearing and laughing. They would say things, like fat fuck, fat tits, just kind of like that. I thought that was pretty funny. These people, it's pretty funny, but poor parrots.
That's pretty funny.
I don't think nothing here about if parrots can forget. I was going to say de-learn. If they can forget.
I don't believe in forgetting. I just de-learn things.
I just de-learned it, yeah. But that's how you play the game.
Love it.
I
got one more for you here, big
fella.
Oh,
shit, sorry. I thought, okay.
Ottawa's top doc says she needs a break after showing up at work with no pants.
Wah, 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 wah. Smackety, mackety, mow. This is just this is silly either way, Cam. I mean, how do you forget your pants?
How do you forget your pants?
I mean, even
Forget your pants, Cameron.
unless it was like she wore her shorts and forgot she was doing surgery that day, where you need like full scrubs. Unless there's like
I don't
a little
think top doctors do surgery. I think they just like advise on things.
Yeah, but you also think top doctors know where their pants are. And also, do you show up to work only wearing a shirt? Like, how's what's the process that you show up to work
That's a good point.
half dressed? Unless some kind of situation where like you pooped yourself in your car on your way to work, maybe you peed yourself. It's weird, but it's a headline.
It's a headline. I would like it if maybe that's actually what happened. She just pooped herself on the way there. It's like, oh my, so quick.
Everybody poops themselves on their way to work.
Pants? Did I forget my pants? Oh, this is such a bad day for me.
Like, if you're a doctor and forgetting to put on pants, those two things are too juxtaposed. I don't think those two go well together.
So the story is that she was dressing in the dark in the morning and distracted by setting up a surprise for her boys, rushing to talk with Rob Snow on 1310 News, one of our top competitors. And she said, although she confessed her mind was elsewhere, she said, I still can't believe I made it to City Hall without my skirt under my rain jacket. So she was one of those Ottawa flashers that we've come to know. Then she just said, yikes, maybe it's time for me to take a break. That's one way to get vacation. Am I right, folks?
Am I right? Just show up to work with no pants. You know, sure, the sexual harassment lawsuit is pending, but just go for it.
Hit it hard. So that is the game. That is how we play. We each take 3 turns. And then
Are you explaining the rules after the show, after the game?
3 turns, because some people like to end it too quick.
I thought you did 3. I thought you did 2. I thought you started.
Sure.
I didn't think I started.
Sure.
All right, you start with one. But yeah, that's the game. And not only is that the game, that is all the time we have here on this week's episode of the podcast. Remember, you can rate, review, like, and subscribe because we're everywhere. You can reach out at twoceesinapod@gmail.com, Spotify, Spotifcast, Apple Podcast. There's an Amazon Podcasts now that you can also find us on if you're in your Alexa world. And Google has a podcast. Everybody has a thing now, and we're all on it.
We're there. We're there for you, folks. We're on YouTube. We're on everything. Just everything. Last thing to never forget. Like, subscribe, everything like that. But 2013 was the first year since 1987 to feature 4 different numbers. Think about it, folks.
Take care, everyone.
Continuing tonight on 2 C's in a Pod. 96.7 on your
Two C's in a pod, 2 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 C's just like 2 C's in a pod, 2 C's because we're 2 C's in a pod, just like 2 C's in a pod, 2 C's in a pod at gmail.com.